Okay, welcome back, Spirit Child 1723. You can call me that. You can call me Mark. We're here to do air signs for August. Um, I was thinking of something. There's a lot of people that do tarot, and in the beginning, they always say, take what resonates and leave the rest, or take what's for you only, or don't forget that the narrative could be going this way and you're on one side and the other person on the other side, and it could flip. I could do it several times like that. But also one thing I know um, from reading energy is that the past and the present are really easy. The future um, is harder. The future is um, not always destined and planned out, and there's too many variables. But also, even the best people don't predict the time real you know accurately, right? Some people will say 2 months will be 2 years. Well, they weren't wrong, they called it right. But it's really hard to tune into that. But anyways, let's get busy here. Air signs for August. Spirit, please and thank you. All right. Wow. 10 of Cups right off the bat. Air signs in August. Well, we can stop the reading there. Make my job easy. I got a lot of allergies going on, but we're going to do this reading, and we're going to get, after this one, we'll get the fire signs a little later in the week. Wow. King of Pentacles. And somebody, somebody on the top of their game. Oh, we got Ego. I don't know if that's the same person or not. And then we get the Hermit. So I think there's two different energies here. All right, first card out is 10 of Cups. A happy marriage, happily ever after, emotional contentment, a loving relationship with your children, raising children wisely and successfully, people you can trust. So this is just a good foundation for life. Good foundation. In setting up a house and starting a family and having um, you know proper love for the children and everything. It's just great card. It could be a blending of families and everything's going well, and everybody's in the honeymoon happy phase, and in their, they're happy to set up the new house and the new, family with new family members possibly. Then we have the King of Pentacles come out, or King of Earth in this deck. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, grounded, time of great success, financial security and prosperity, the Midas touch, everything turning out beautifully. A supportive partner or spouse, so a good person to work for. So this could easily be talking about, and this is just perceived as one scenario, right? The male um, in this little family situation, this King of Pentacles, Um, that could be the male energy in that first card, right? Then next card out is Ego. Some say edging God out. Ego, edging God out. That's Capricorn energy. And, you know, it's the illusion of being trapped, right? Possible addictions. But this lady's chains and shackles have been busted open with that light sword um, that this other character has used to do that. But she has a light blindfolded. She's blindfolded. She has a light, colored, thin veil over her eyes, and she doesn't have her eyes open, right? She doesn't realize she's been set free. So she's trapped. And, ego works in uh, various ways, but ego tells you you are what you have, right? Or you are what you accomplished, right? Ego usually doesn't reflect um, I'm happy to be a good human being. It felt good when I helped someone. Not all the time, but many traps of the ego are I'm my job, I'm a father, I'm a parent, I'm a cousin. uncle, um, you know, this because I have a certain amount of money, right? Those are traps of the ego. And then we have the hermit. Time spent in peaceful meditation. This is Virgo. So you have Virgo and you have Capricorn up in that top row, but you have the male energy as the king of earth. Shine your light as an example to others. Seek out or become a spiritual mentor. Self-discovery. For instance, for some of you, you're getting more tuned with your spiritual path, maybe your spiritual self, like John Holland says, is like, we're a spiritual being having a human experience, the spirit part is first, because that lives on forever. That's eternal. Um, the prism of light, that reminds me of Archangel Metatron. This is a hermit in this deck. It's about going within for the answers. All right, we're going to take a few Moonology cards. I got about 6 new decks, and we're going to have to break them in. Sometimes the cards, don't jump as easy till I've had the deck for a little while. So if it gives me a hard time, we'll shuffle. I've already pre-shuffled and fanned, but we'll shuffle and we'll take the top 4 or top 3, whatever I'm felt guided to do. Apologize. All right, so we'll just take some cards off. Let's take 3 from this Moonology deck. What do you need to release? Waning mood. The answers you need are coming, full moon in Gemini. And step out of your comfort zone, North Node. Not mode, North Node. That means when everything's going right, you're in the highest alignment of your being and your well-being and your skills, your talents, everything. All right, first card out though in this row is what do you need to release? Usually that's done under the full moon. But I'm not familiar with all Wicca practices, and not somebody that studies that a lot. But this is showing Christmas time, or winter time, in the northern hemisphere, right? Something that you could have been carrying around, or something that when this winter comes, gonna need to be released. All right. Then we have the answers you need are coming. So, full moon in Gemini. Moon energy is intuition, feminine energy, water cycles, cycles that relate the body to the earth, to the moon, to the universe, to what's going on, all have rhythms and cycles. Now, this is showing one lady with her eyes shut, right? And one lady with her eyes open. So, the lady with her eyes shut is the intuition. She's using her soul skills to figure out what's coming next. The one that has their eyes open, that's more in 3D. She's just looking for the signs, you know, what kind of changes or, what's being shifted in her life, what type of changes need to be made by her. It's a lot easier to figure out most of the times in the spirit world first, everything that materializes in the 3D is done already in what I call the 5D, right? So those worlds are just on top of each other, happening at the same time. It ain't like this is here, separate. Like they're going on at the same time, and there's 4D meshed in there too. But 3D being the material world, 5D being the spirit, right? Anything that comes down and manifests itself in the material world starts here as a thought and energy, right? So step out of your comfort zone, North Node. So, stand up for who you are, you know what I mean? Don't make apologies, stand with your feet down firmly, grounded, accept the person you are, and in this process, especially the spiritual process, you're going to outgrow people, You're going to get called crazy by your family, potentially. You're going to have people that you go out with, just like, this person's a whack job, you know? They're trying to live life very different than, what's out there, in this predetermined, machine world that they want everyone to follow a cookie cutter pattern. And it's nice as long as you don't, buck the system, right? It's nice for the people on the top, but it's not nice for the people that are being stifled and the people that have a lot of creative and artistic endeavors that don't get rewarded because the system just crowds that out, Not always, but many times. All right, here's another one of the new decks. This is Alice in Wonderland deck. It's very different, but we're going to take a couple cards out of this. All right, these are jumping, so. Oh, I'm not going to do any reversals. These are straight up Oracle cards. I flipped. I know I was supposed to fix this deck. I ruined it when I was doing water. I had the cards reversed when I fanned them. That's all it takes. Now half are going one way, half going the other way. Spirit, one more card for air signs in the month of August, please and thank you. One more card, please and thank you. All right. These cards are kind of talking to me already. All right, we're going to keep going to the right here. We're shifting to the right with this reading. All right, this is the third row horizontally. Wake up. It's your moment. So that goes along with step out of your comfort zone, this is saying it's your time to shine, whatever that may be, Don't let, they say don't die with the music, in you, you know what I mean? Like, be alive, be participant in your life, You have to take risk, and you don't have to. To proceed down this path, one must take risks, right? Part of it's standing up and owning your power and being different than others, You are rare and free. There are not many like you. So this is just what I was leading into. There's a reason you're different than other people, collective, of the air signs here. You want to be noticed for your talent and be recognized for something you're good at. It's probably going to be something that other people aren't doing or aren't gifted as well gifted as you to do. The stuff I went through in my personal life, 22 and a half years of active, substance using, and then many more than that, probably a total of, I don't know. I don't even know how to count it. Just a lot of decades of, using food as a drug also, basically, right? Um, you know, I know that some of that stuff's my biggest assets. Being on the other side of it, it not totally controlling my life or what I do or how I live. That's part of my story. That's part of what I can share with someone if I need to, if that experience will benefit them. Shine bright like a candle. So you'll make it through this. It was about holding your inner light. You're showing this girl painting, you know what I mean? She's a little sad in this picture, but there's some Van Gogh. I believe those are Van Gogh symbols in the back. You know, I don't think this girl's ever super ecstatic happy, but I haven't seen the whole deck yet. This is a 36, which is 9, adds up to 9. That's the end of the cycle for me. But, more importantly, it says shine bright like a candle. Let your inner light shine. Be your true self. Dare to be different. Be okay. If everyone likes you, you're not doing it right. If you're pleasing everyone, that's what you're doing. You're being a people pleaser. And I'm still learning, and I'm still taking some rough lessons. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. I live this stuff every day, like you guys, just trying to figure out doing a little better than yesterday. All right, we're in this. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it tea time. I don't know. All these decks are new, so I'm just getting going here. The high vibing card come out. There's one or two cards that are mirroring the water reading for August, water sign reading. Just one or two. There's two so far. I believe there's two. All right, two more cards here for air in the month of August. Please and thank you. Ghost and cuffing season. So there's another one. It's either in the water or the earth reading. I don't know. I don't understand that sign. That's that card. Some of the young people are gonna have to help me out with that. Maybe you can explain in the comments a little bit, or I'll have to open up some type of slang dictionary. All right. So the first card out's high vibing, good vibes, live to the fullest, enjoy the present. So this person's just really content, going easy and doing their thing, and kind of letting it happen. Ask what you want from the universe and let it happen. Let go of it, you know. Plan on it coming. Then we have ghost, no closure, cowardice, disappearing act. So this is implying a female that their way of dealing with it was shutting down and closing off all communication. So if your ear signs were the air signs that have male energy, there's female energy that purposely shut you down, and pulled away. So a good thing would be to try to give yourself closure. Don't get resentful with it. All right, this is the one I need help with, guys. Cuffing season. What the? Single and ready to mingle. Ready for a relationship, on the hunt. So this is male energy, pursuing. But look at this cat, man. What the hell is this? Guy with a tiger head on? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look up cuffing because it's not my jam, not my language. Anyways, if you know what it is, put it in the comment. Help this old guy out. But the main focus is ready to mingle, ready to have fun as a single person. Again, this is a card that mirrors, I believe, water. Either earth or water, but I believe water signs. It's hard to remember after you've done a couple readings. All right, let's look for a few romance cards, see if we can get a little closure on this. The direction it's going to for the air sign spirit, please and thank you. Appreciate you guys giving me a chance to get some rest, and hopefully I can get on a schedule. I don't know what I want to do, but for now, we're doing it like we're doing it. All right, this card wanted to come out. Forgiving and learning. Someone got hurt by that person that ghosted them. Female energy ghosted a male energy. I'm sorry. Sorry that happened to you. Playfulness. One more card, Spirit, please and thank you. Air signs in the month of August. All right, this is what came out. Worth waiting for. All right, so. All right, so this is like taking the lesson, you know what I mean? Taking the lesson as life experience and moving on, asking friends to support you, trying to be around other people that have your back, that support you, are truly on your side. No one wants to hear it. It seems like, I know for myself and many others that I've talked to, it seems like, initially you want to be by yourself, you want to turn inward, you want to get mad about it, the situation, you may want to overeat or eat sweets or whatever it may be for you. Some people like salty food. I don't know. But it all processes differently in different time frames for everyone. You'll know when you're ready. The next card is playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So that's what I was saying. But you can get out there with your friends, 2 or 3 hours on a Thursday or Friday night, and if they're close friends, they already know what you're going through. But the whole idea is not to keep replaying it in your mind, keep thinking about it, thinking why did it happen, why couldn't it be different, you know. Um, you say why is a 2-year-old question, and the answer is because, you know. And I don't like when I'm being told that. I get pissed. I'm human too, right? And then it says worth waiting for. So along with being playful, it says divine timing. It's at work in your love life, you know. So you could have had a karmic lesson roll in, and you know, this person ghosted you. They didn't treat you right. They weren't reciprocating. You know, it was, you know, unacquitted love or attention, or, you know, you trusted this person beyond, you know, where they proved to be trusted at, you know, what level they proved to be trusted at. You gave them the benefit of the doubt, and it was a person that didn't respond to that responsibility, right? They're immature, or, you know, they got their own wounds and they're not, you know, quite in touch with their healing path yet, right? So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, share a video with a friend if you can, you know, whether they play it or not. It helps you know, algorithms, I guess. I don't know, you know, like, I mean, pretty much fluctuating from 475 to 480, 85 viewers, or subscribers, I should say, subs. But anyways, this is what I have for you guys. I appreciate you letting me read your energy. Um, someone, you know, someone in the top is well off, though. There's a male energy. That's what I'm getting. You know, there's a male independent. There's one with a family, but there's also some independence about this male that he probably made his money on his own, right? And the way this story kind of folds out is somebody took off on him. You know what I mean? And it, you know, this could be the original. This could be the original family. You know, and who knows? He might have walked away from it. Maybe the other partner walked away from it. But towards the bottom of the reading, we're looking at this, you know, this female energy taking off, and, you know, no resolve, no closure, you know. So that's what I have for you guys. Again, I appreciate you letting me read your energy. You have a good month.